Hello again, welcome to day 8 of OET Learnuary. If you don't know what Learnuary is all about, we're making this February into OET Learnuary so that you can watch one of our YouTube videos every day in 2022 and challenge yourself to learn new vocabulary, practice your skills, and generally get yourself ready for the OET. Today's lesson is all about the OET Speaking Criteria, and I've got 3 simple tips to help you along your way. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sona and I'm a premium preparation provider of the OET with Bose Learning. Now, something that I often do with my students is we do a role play together in the first lesson, and then I ask them, how do you think you've done? And they say to me, well, it was okay, but I didn't use passives or conditionals or any kind of fancy grammar or fancy vocabulary or anything like that, so I don't think I've passed. What is wrong with this idea? Do you have any ideas? Why is this idea not correct for the OET? Well, the thing to remember is that the OET is not IELTS. In your IELTS exam, for those of you who've done that or you've taken that before, you know that one of the criteria looks at range of grammar. So you have to actively show the examiner that you have a good range of grammar and use passives, use conditionals, use relative clauses, etc. With the OET, that's not the case. That's why my first tip for you is get familiar with the OET criteria. You'll be able to find that online at the OET official website, or you can look at some videos about it. I know I've got a long video in my Udemy course about it, and I'm sure you can find others as well. The thing to know is that there are 2 sets of criteria, the linguistic criteria and then the clinical communication. Grammar is important, of course it is, and it comes in under appropriateness of language and resources of grammar and expression. But have a look here. What they're looking for is that you're using appropriate register, tone, and lexis for the context. And your grammar is generally used accurately and flexibly. 5, of course, will get you that B. So you're not looking to show off with your grammar, but what you're doing is looking to use appropriate grammar for the context. So really understand that it's not that you have to be all fancy, it's just that you have to use the right kind of grammar for the right kind of situation. So if you're talking to an older person, you'd use different kinds of words from if you're talking to a younger person. It's that kind of thing. If you're being very strict with a patient, you have to use different kinds of grammar from if you're being very persuasive or understanding with a patient. And that's where the next set of criteria come in, and that's the clinical communication criteria. This looks at different things. This looks at the soft skills, the people skills, the skills that you need as a human being, really, including relationship building, understanding and incorporating the patient's perspective. So, valuing their opinion. Okay, they're not the expert, but it's still their health at the end of the day. Providing structure, so being clear in what you're saying, and then gathering the information appropriately and then giving advice, etc. appropriately. So these are the things that the examiners are going to eventually be assessing you on. So get really familiar with that, as I say. That's my first top tip. Now, my second top tip is to take a mock test with a premium preparation provider. It's a bit of an investment, I realise that, but it's so important because it will give you feedback. We'll be able to tell you where you need to improve, what you're doing right, etc, etc. If you have a look on the OET website, you can get a list of the premium preparation providers, or in the information below, I've got a link to the mock courses that I offer with 2 of my colleagues. You'll be pleased to know that we're all very nice teachers. We're all premium preparation providers and we're all individual tutors. So we're not a big school, we're just normal teachers who will hopefully try and make your OET experience that little bit better. So second top tip then is take a mock test, invest in that to find out how you're doing, what you need to do to improve and what you need to keep on doing as well. My final top tip for you is to practice in groups of 3. Why groups of 3? Well, you can take turns. One of you is the candidate, one of you is the interlocutor, and the third one is going to give you feedback. You're going to keep the criteria page open. You're going to refer to the communication criteria and the linguistic criteria and tell each other what you're doing right or wrong. So it's great to find a study buddy, but try and find 2 so you can always practice in groups of 3. Well, thanks very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again next time for OET Learnuary. Take care. Bye-bye.